Hey everyone, welcome back to Cassie's Pasta-bilities. Cassie here and my partner Kate.
Hi.
And today we are making something a little different. We are going to make gluten-free pasta. So we're going to roll out a fettuccine, but we'll get into that later. First, I kind of want to go over the flour that we're going to use. I bought a pre-made gluten-free flour, and it has rice flour. It's a brown rice flour with some potato starch. But feel free to make your own if you like, or if you know how, feel free to do that. And all gluten-free foods in general usually have, like in this case, we're going to be using xanthan gum, because this is going to help our dough be more elastic and easier to use pasta-like. It's basically subbing in for our gluten, which would have been in our normal flour. So let's get started, start making our dough. Okay everyone, so much like our regular pasta dough, we're going to start with the same basic type of setup. We have our flour here in our bowl, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon. This is 1 1/3 cups of gluten-free flour. The recipe will be down below, so don't really worry about the exact measurements. So I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of our xanthan gum, and Kate's going to kind of mix this up for me with the fork, because we're going to try to mix it in. Yeah, mix it in. Just mix it in first. We want to try to mix that up first. Get it all in there. Okay, now you're going to do your little well after we've mixed it in. It's got our little well. And then we are going to add 2 large eggs. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of water. And then we're going to start mixing it up. He's going to start mixing up the dough. Got it. And then you'll see it'll start coming together, much like, oh, you got that? You need some help there? He's got it. Okay, here, let me see it. Let me add in this. Let's go. Now, a lot of gluten-free recipes, though they might be a little crumbly, that's what makes gluten-free pasta kind of difficult to make. But this recipe, it actually rolls out perfectly. So I'm going to do it like I would my normal dough and just start mixing it up in the bowl. I'm trying to get it to get into a ball. So here we go. And you can see it's coming together. It's not too crumbly, because we're going to do this out on the board and knead it once we have most of the crumbs together. So it's feeling good. We don't want it to be too dry. Now, if there is a lot of crumbs, you can add a little bit more water, because I know how eggs aren't always the same. You have sometimes, even though they're all large, they're not the same. So I think this is just about there. Feels good. Okay, so I'm going to dump this out on my board, where I am going to begin kneading it. Okay, so we've skipped ahead a little bit, because this takes quite a bit of kneading. So it does take some time, and if you have a stand mixer and want to do it in there, feel free to do that, because it will take you quite a bit. So once we get to this where it is shiny, you can see it's shiny, it's smooth, it feels a little dry, because that's why we are going to let it rest a bit. So, and let the xanthan gum do its work. So I will now wrap it in plastic and put it in the refrigerator, let it rest for at least an hour. You can do it overnight if you'd like, but just like that. So I have some dough that I've already let rest. Let's just put that one right there. So what I'm gonna do here is take my piece of dough and I'm going to cut it in small pieces because it does have a tendency to break apart a little bit, and it just makes it easier to work with. So I'm gonna take this little piece and I'm gonna cut it in 4s. And I'm gonna just set these aside. I found this is the best way to work with it because it's going to feel a little crumbly, so you're gonna have to do a little bit of work with this one. So Cade is going to help me roll it out, and I have this on our widest setting for our machine, which is number 1 in this case. So Cade, start rolling. Now watch your fingers here because this dough will break apart. And you're gonna have to put it back together. So now I'm getting it as much as a rectangle as I can. Okay, go. Yeah, all right, we got that. Now I'm gonna fold it over itself again. And then go again, Cade. We are trying to get this as much as we can into a rectangle. And if it sticks a little bit, you can see mine looks like it's a little sticky. Dust it with some of your gluten-free flour. Okay, now I'm gonna put the sides, make it look as much as a square as I can, and then go, Cade. You gotta go strong man, because we don't want to break it up. So now this is probably as close to a rectangle type square we're gonna get. So from here, we're gonna go to our second setting. Go, Cade. And we're gonna continue on going through each one at a time until we get, now we're gonna go to 3. Since we're doing a fettuccine, we are going to go to 5 because I find that that's the perfect thickness, what we're going for. Go ahead, Cade. Go. And since we cut it, it's not very long, so these could actually just be how our pasta length is gonna be, so we won't have to cut it after. Okay, so now we're on our last setting. Go through, Cade. Go ahead. Go. All right, so now we have this beautiful piece, and you can see it's thin. Yes, the edges are a little messed up, but that's fine. It's not gonna be perfect. It's a little drier than a normal pasta dough, so it's not gonna be the same. But it feels really nice and smooth. Right, Cade? Cade, you wanna feel it? Yeah. What's it feel like?
Nice and smooth.
Nice and smooth. Okay, so now we're gonna take our cutting part of our machine, and it just slides right on. Most machines actually come with this standard when you buy them. And I'm gonna just set these right here for a second to set aside. I'm going to just flip my board onto this side so that I can cut them from that angle. And then Cade, we're gonna take our handle out. We're gonna put our handle in our fettuccine side. And then Cade is just going to go. Go, Cade, go. And now, as you can see, the little crumbs, of course, those aren't perfect, we'll just put those aside. But as you can see, our fettuccine is perfect. And we now have our perfect gluten-free fettuccine. Now with this, I would actually cover it, maybe toss it with a little bit of the gluten-free flour, and then cover it on a sheet pan, or you can cook it immediately, of course. It only takes a few minutes, and there you have it, gluten-free pasta. Thanks again, everyone, for watching Cassie's Pasta-bilities with Cassie and Cade and how to make gluten-free pasta. And I also want to thank everyone who's already watched our videos and liked and subscribed to our channel.
If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button.
Bye. So, she's turning around. Easy.